Right now at 6, officers under attack in Central Florida. Tonight, we're learning more about 2 officer-involved shootings that happened 2 hours apart yesterday in 2 different counties. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. I'm Luann Sorrell.
And I'm John Brown. The knife you see right behind us and then the rifle next to it are the 2 weapons that officers came face to face with. And we have live team coverage on both of those shootings. We start in Altamonte Springs. That's where police gave us an update on the man who's accused of pointing that rifle at police officers. And Fox 35's Marie Ettinger joins us live from the police department, where they just wrapped up the press conference about 10 minutes ago. So, Marie, officers say they've been to that home many times.
Many times. So here's what we learned. We learned from the Altamonte Police Department that the community engagement officer had been at this man's home just 2 weeks ago and several other times, but that engagement officer was not there at the time of the shooting. The police department does say, however, that about half of its officers are trained in crisis negotiations. It obviously did not work here. Police say that when they were called out because a man was, according to a 911 caller, waving a weapon around, going door to door, they tried to talk with him, tried to get him to drop the rifle. Instead, the police department says he moved to put it against a fence, and that movement alerted an officer who wound up then shooting him. They tried to save him on the scene. It didn't work. We had been speaking with neighbors in the area earlier today about the interactions they had had with this same man. It turns out those had not gone so well in the past either.
He was going door to door, basically knocking like with a rifle, kind of like pivoting it in the air. It was like really weird.
That's what Altamonte Springs police say led their officer to shoot and kill 65-year-old Eric Seckington.
It's a nice neighborhood. We really don't see this ever.
People living in the River Run subdivision are still shaken up, but as for shocked, not exactly.
It's always been something with this exact house.
Multiple people told me Seckington had caused problems around the neighborhood.
It was a cordial, neighborly situation. About 2 years ago, that changed.
Court documents show officers had gone out several times to settle disputes between Seckington and his neighbor, Ryan Painley. One police report said Seckington had accused his neighbors of breaking into his house to put listening devices inside. On other occasions, the report says he'd broken into their patio, dug around their backyard, messed with their fence.
17 calls were made over the course of 2 years.
He'd had some run-ins with the law before. Battery, assault with a deadly weapon, some drug charges here and in the Panhandle. Court documents show Seckington missed a court date last week because he was getting inpatient care at North Tampa Behavioral Health. Hours before he was shot and killed, Painley says the courts had just processed his restraining order against Seckington.
We also requested a mental evaluation, so he was to basically submit to his own evaluation and also surrender any firearms and weapons within 48 hours, and he did not get that opportunity. It was just sad that he didn't get the help that he needed.
So just to reiterate, the police department is not saying that this man pointed the weapon at him. Instead, they just said he made a movement that concerned the officer who wound up shooting. We are going to get some that 911 call of the woman who reported this incident initially, reported him moving that weapon around and going door to door. Right now, we are not going to get the body-worn camera. The Altamonte Springs Police Department says they're not releasing that just yet. The FDLE is taking over the investigation. What we're waiting to learn from them will be things like whether there were any other weapons in the house and whether that rifle was loaded at the time of this shooting. Live in Altamonte Springs, Marie Ettinger, Fox 35 News.